There comes a moment in every life, in every soul's journey, when the night has stretched long and hope has felt distant, when your prayers seem to echo back in silence and your heart wonders if God has heard you at all. You've walked the narrow path, you've carried the burdens, you've stood when others fell, and yet it feels like your breakthrough, your answer, your deliverance has been delayed. But I declare to you with a holy urgency, God is not delaying, He is preparing. God is not ignoring you, He is orchestrating something far greater than your human understanding can grasp. He is shifting you, even now, from a season of waiting into a moment of sudden, unstoppable, undeniable victory. Listen closely. What has looked like silence from heaven has really been the sound of divine construction. God has been building behind the scenes. He has been arranging people, setting up opportunities, softening hearts, opening doors, and aligning your steps with precision. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And just when the enemy thought he could discourage you, just when others gave up on you, just when you began to think your time would never come, God is stepping in with power that moves mountains. He is shifting the atmosphere. He is breaking chains. He is bringing down walls, and He is doing it suddenly. You see, God does not move according to your calendar. He is not bound by the ticking of your clock. One moment in His presence can reverse years of pain, delay, and struggle. One word from God can shake the earth and rearrange your destiny. And I tell you with boldness today, that word is coming. That shift is upon you. That miracle is near. God is getting ready to lift you from obscurity to influence, from rejection to recognition, from barrenness to fruitfulness, from What took others decades will happen for you in days. Not because of who you are, but because of who God is. God saw your private tears. He heard your prayers in the midnight hour. He watched you forgive when it hurt, remain silent when you could have fought back, and worship Him even when you didn't understand. That obedience did not go unnoticed. That faithfulness did not go unrewarded. God is a God of justice, and He repays. He repays with blessings that overflow. He repays with peace that passes understanding. He repays with sudden breakthroughs that defy logic. You've waited, you've wondered, but now God is shifting you into a place where waiting is replaced by winning. Don't you give up now. Don't you sit down in sorrow when the edge of your miracle is right in front of you. Don't let discouragement lie to you. Don't let delay define you. God never forgets His faithful ones. He never overlooks the heart that seeks Him. And when the time is right, not your time, but His time, He will make it happen. That is the promise. That is the power. That is the shift. And for those who have walked through fire, who have survived the storm, who have stood alone and still chosen to trust, God has reserved a sudden victory that will leave every doubter speechless. There are moments in history when God moves swiftly, shaking kingdoms, altering destinies, lifting up the lowly and bringing down the proud, and I declare to you now, you are standing at the edge of one of those moments. The same God who lifted Joseph from the prison to the palace in a single day is the God who is lifting you. The same God who parted seas for Moses, who rained manna from heaven, who shut the mouths of lions for Daniel, that same God is alive, active, and moving in your favor. And when God moves, nothing can stop Him. You don't need the approval of man. You don't need the applause of people. You need only the hand of God, and when He decides to shift you from waiting into victory, no demon, no enemy, no betrayal, no limitation can stand in the way. The delay has expired. The struggle has served its purpose. The lesson has been learned. And now the season is changing. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are being elevated. not by manipulation, not by connection, but by the power of the one who sees all and knows all. God's timing is precise. You may think you've been overlooked, but God has been hiding you for the right moment. You were not rejected, you were protected. What you thought was a setback was a setup. And now, with divine acceleration, He is bringing every piece together. He is taking what was broken and making it whole. He is taking what was delayed and making it swift. He is taking what was denied, what once was out of reach, will soon be in your hand. But listen, this is not a time to shrink back in doubt. This is a time to rise up in faith. Your posture must match the promise. Walk like it's already done. Speak like the doors are already open. Pray like the walls are already falling. Worship like the breakthrough is already here. Because when God decides it's time, no force in heaven or earth can hold Him back. He is not a man that He should lie. He is not slow in keeping His word. He does not forget the cry of the righteous. The enemy wanted to exhaust you in the waiting. He wanted to poison your heart with bitterness. He wanted to drain your strength with doubt. But you held on, you stayed standing, you kept believing, and now God is about to honor that faith in front of those who said it was foolish. He is about to show the world that those who trust in Him will never be put to shame. He is about to open doors that no man can shut, and shut doors that no man can open. This is the shift, this is the moment, this is the movement of God. I tell you, victory is not just coming, it is coming suddenly. It will come so fast it will confuse your enemies. It will come so powerfully it will silence every lie. It will come so completely it will redeem every loss. And when it comes, it will be evident to all that only God could have done this. You will not have to fight for it. You will not have to beg for it. You will not have to explain it. God will do it in such a way that His hand will be unmistakable. And when the victory comes, remember this: it was not your strength that brought you through, it was God's. It was not your connections that opened the way, it was God. It was not your wisdom that solved the problem, it was God. So give Him the glory, give Him the honor, give Him the praise, for He alone is worthy. He alone saw the beginning from the end. He alone wrote your story, and now He is bringing it into fulfillment. There is a sound in the Spirit, a sound of chains breaking, a sound of doors opening, a sound of the dry bones coming to life. It is the sound of a people who waited and now are walking into what God promised. It is the sound of transition, the sound of sudden glory, the sound of divine shift. It is here, it is now, and it is yours. Let your heart rise in expectation. Let your faith be stirred afresh. Let your soul rejoice, for the wait is over. What God is about to do for you will surpass what you imagined. He has been preparing you for this all along. What felt like a delay was divine training. God was building your patience, refining your character, strengthening your resolve. He was stripping away what couldn't go with you into the next season. He was separating you from wrong connections, pulling you from dangerous places, and teaching you how to depend on Him fully. Because the victory He is about to give you will require a new version of you, one that knows how to carry the weight of the blessing without being crushed by it. You are stepping into a season of divine reversal. Where there was lack, there will be abundance. Where there was sorrow, there will be joy. Where there was defeat, there will be triumph. God is turning the page. He is writing a new chapter, and it begins with victory. Not a small win, not a halfway breakthrough, but a full, miraculous, supernatural, undeniable victory that only He could bring. Stay faithful, stay humble, stay ready, because when the moment comes, it will not be time to get ready. It will be time to walk through the door. And if you have stayed close to God in the waiting, you will recognize the shift when it happens. It will feel like a wind, it will feel like fire, it will feel like an eruption of joy in your spirit. And when it happens, walk boldly, walk confidently, walk thankfully, for what God is giving you is not temporary, it is eternal. What he is releasing is not fragile, it is fortified. What he is building cannot be torn down. You are not who you used to be. The waiting has changed you. The fire has refined you. The storms have matured you. And now you are ready to receive, ready to lead, ready to carry what God is placing in your hands. There will be no more delay. There will be no more going in circles. This is the hour. This is the shift. God is moving in your favor, and he is doing it suddenly. Stay with him, trust him, praise him, because you're not just going to witness the miracle, you're going to live in it. The God who has sustained you in the shadows is now positioning you for the spotlight of his glory. And when the world sees it, they won't understand how it happened, but you will know. You will know it was the hand of God all along. You must understand this. God does not prepare you for victory without first preparing the battlefield. Long before you arrive, he has already gone ahead of you. He has already dismantled the traps of the enemy, already scattered the plans of those who sought your downfall, already removed obstacles you didn't even know were there. You may have felt forgotten, but God was working while you were waiting. The silence was not absence, it was strategy. And now, what seemed delayed will burst forth with divine speed, because God is shifting you not gradually, not hesitantly, but suddenly. The shift of God is not always loud. Sometimes it begins in the quiet place, in the stillness of obedience, in the steady footsteps of someone who refused to quit. It doesn't always start with a trumpet blast or a sign in the heavens. Sometimes it starts in a whisper, a nudge in your spirit, a change in atmosphere, a divine unrest that says, "Get ready!" And when God whispers, it shakes the foundations of the unseen realm. When he moves, the earth responds. When he decides to act, no man, no system, no delay can interfere. This is not just your season, this is your divine appointment. There are moments that define history, moments when God interrupts the normal and releases the supernatural. This is such a moment. And you, yes, you are not here by accident. You have been chosen for this hour. You have been prepared through trials, molded through hardship, refined through affliction. Every scar, every lesson, every sleepless night has brought you here. And now, God is breathing new wind into your soul, new fire into your purpose, and new strength into your bones. The victory that is coming is not only for your benefit, it is for the glory of God. He is about to use your story to silence the mockers. He is about to use your testimony to lift the heads of those who are weary. Others will look at what he does in your life and realize that it was never about your qualifications, your connections, or your abilities. It was always about your submission. It was always about your willingness to trust, to yield, to obey, even when nothing made sense. Do not be surprised when the shift disrupts your routine. Do not be alarmed when old patterns begin to fall apart. When God prepares to elevate you, he often removes what cannot sustain you in the next level. He is severing ties to things that once comforted you, but would now compromise you. He is pruning what looks alive, but is bearing no fruit. Because sudden victory requires space. It demands a clearing. God is making room, not just for the blessing, but for the weight of it, the responsibility of it, the influence that comes with it. People may not understand your discipline, your silence, your isolation, but God does. He has called you to stand apart because what he is doing in you is uncommon. You are not meant to blend in. You are not meant to follow the crowd. You are marked for something higher, something holier, something that cannot be achieved through shortcuts or compromise. You were not created for survival. You are created for dominion. And when God shifts you, it is not simply to relieve your suffering, it is to reveal His greatness through your life. The victory that is coming will not only restore what was lost, it will exceed it. God is a multiplier. He never just returns what the locusts have eaten. He gives double for your trouble, strength for your sorrow, clarity for your confusion, and when He restores, He does it so thoroughly that the pain of your past becomes the platform for His power. You will look back on what once broke you and see how God used it to build you. You will see how the nights you cried became the soil in which faith took root. You will see how every rejection was a redirection to a better door. But I must tell you this, do not let your heart become arrogant in the blessing. God is lifting you, but He is still the source. He is bringing the victory, but the victory is His, not yours. Stay grounded, stay grateful, stay focused. Remember the days when all you had was a prayer. Remember the moments when His presence was your only peace. The higher God takes you, the deeper your roots must grow in humility. The more He blesses you, the more you must return to Him in worship. And if you feel the pressure increasing, if the warfare intensifies before the breakthrough, rejoice. That is a sign you are closer than you think. The enemy does not fight what does not threaten him. The storm often rages fiercest right before the skies clear. The final push is often the hardest, but if you do not faint, if you do not let go, if you do not retreat, you will see the fullness of what God has promised. You will walk in the blessing that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Do not try to control the timing. Trust it. Do not try to manipulate the outcome. Surrender it. God is not moved by desperation. He is moved by faith. And faith says, even when I do not see the shift, I believe it's happening. Faith says, even when I do not understand the delay, I will not doubt the promise. Faith declares, though the vision tarries, I will wait for it will surely come. It will not delay. This is your hour to believe like never before. Speak life over your situation. Speak breakthrough over your family. Speak clarity over your future. God has given you authority, not over people, not over circumstances, but over your response. Use your words as weapons. Let your praise become your shield. Let your trust become your sword. For every time you choose faith over fear, obedience over comfort, trust over control, you are aligning yourself with the divine shift God is releasing. Let no voice, no past mistake, no current trial convince you that your waiting was in vain. God wastes nothing. He uses every second. And the shift from waiting to victory is not just about speed, it's about supernatural alignment. Things that wouldn't move before will move now. People who wouldn't listen will suddenly hear. Walls that stood for years will collapse in an instant, not because of your might, but because God said, it is time. And when God says it is time, you do not need to force it, you just need to walk in it. Walk in the authority He's given you. Walk in the peace He's placed inside you. Walk in the confidence that what He starts, He finishes. There is no delay that can cancel your destiny when God says now. There is no opposition strong enough to block what He has ordained. If God is shifting you, He is also carrying. He is making the crooked paths straight. He is leveling the mountains. He is illuminating the road you could not see before. Do not allow your past to define your future. God is not consulting your history to write your destiny. The opinions of man, the doubts of critics, the labels others placed on you, they carry no weight in the courts of heaven. God alone decides the outcome. And if He says you're going from waiting to victory, then that is your portion. You may not feel ready, you may not look qualified, but the power of God is not limited by your perception of yourself. He lifts the unlikely. He promotes the humble. He exalts the one who honors Him above all. So prepare yourself, not in fear, but in faith. Make room for the blessing. Clean out the old thinking. Release the bitterness. Let go of the people who cannot walk with you into this next place. Don't bring delay into your destiny. Don't bring doubt into your victory. What God is doing is too precious to be tainted by hesitation. Step boldly, step fully, and let your life be a declaration, not of your strength, but of the greatness. This shift will bring alignment, it will bring restoration, it will bring recompense. You will see promises fulfilled that you nearly forgot. You will see opportunities emerge from places you never imagined. You will see favor descend like rain on dry land, and when you see it, you will remember it was all God. Not luck, not chance, not coincidence. God, only God. Let your faith rise, not because you understand everything, but because you trust the one who does. Let your soul awaken to the truth that you are not stuck, you are being positioned, not abandoned, appointed, not delayed, developed. And when the shift happens, it will not just change your circumstances, it will change your identity. You will no longer be called the one who waits, but the one who overcomes. God is not done, He is not distant, He is closer than your next breath. And if you will listen with your spirit, you will hear it, you will feel it. The shift is here. It is sacred, it is swift, it is sure. Let your heart be steady, for the God who began the good work in you is now bringing it to completion with sudden victory. When God begins to shift a soul, He does not ask for permission. He initiates movement according to His divine will. And often that movement comes in silence. It begins when you're unaware. The stirring happens deep in the unseen layers of your life, where only God has access. You may not even feel it at first, but suddenly what seemed immovable starts to tremble. What was locked begins to loosen. What was dry starts to flow. God is not asking if you are ready, He is declaring that you are. And when God declares a shift, nothing in existence can halt it. This shift is not only about receiving a victory, it's about becoming someone who can sustain it. God will never give you a blessing that will break you. He molds you through the waiting so that when the victory comes, you carry it with integrity. This shift requires more than excitement. It requires strength, purity of heart, and unwavering trust. God is not promoting the loudest voice, but the cleanest vessel. He is not interested in temporary applause. He is seeking those who are prepared to carry His favor with humility. That's why the waiting was long. That's why the fire was hot, because what's coming is weighty, and only those who are deeply rooted in God can stand under the fullness of it. Do not envy those who seem to rise quickly. Speed without God is a setup for collapse, but when God lifts you, He builds your foundation first. And that foundation is trust, radical, uncompromising trust in God alone. A trust that says, even if I don't understand the delay, I still believe the promise. A trust that stands still when fear says, run. A trust that remains faithful when others walk away. This kind of trust cannot be taught in comfort. It is forged in the furnace of waiting. And now, with that trust intact, with that foundation laid, God says, move forward, but not in your strength. Move forward in divine confidence, because this victory is not born of effort, it is born of obedience. It is the reward of hidden faith, it is the harvest of silent prayers, and it comes not when man commands it, but when God declares it. You are not rising because of favor from people, you are rising because of alignment with God. That is the highest favor a soul can carry. This victory will not look like the world's version of success. It may not come with flashing lights or public celebration, but it will come with peace. It will come with clarity. It will come with the undeniable assurance that you are exactly where God wants you to be. And in that place, whether it is a palace or a desert, you will know that the God who carried you through the waiting is now crowning you with triumph. Do not let your eyes deceive you. What seems quiet right now is actually the calm before acceleration. And when it begins, it will happen so quickly that even you will struggle to keep up, People will ask, how did this happen? How did everything shift overnight? And all you will be able to say is God, because you didn't force it, you didn't beg for it, you didn't manipulate it, you waited, and God acted. But remember this, when God shifts you, He may remove people who cannot walk with you into the next season. That separation is not punishment, it's preservation. There are alliances that once served you but would now hinder you. There are voices that once encouraged you but now would confuse you. God is a jealous protector of purpose, and He will not allow anyone to dilute what He is about to release in your life. So don't mourn every goodbye. Don't resist every closed door. Sometimes the rejection is the redirection. Sometimes the silence is a sign that elevation is near. You were not meant to stay in the shadows forever. God did not form you in the quiet just to let you stay silent. He refined you privately so He could release you publicly. He hid you in the waiting so that you could be revealed in the right timing. And now the covering is being lifted, the limits are being broken, the old labels are being stripped away. What you thought was your ceiling will become your floor. He was a person, now you hid yourself. What you thought was your ceiling will become your floor. What held you back will now be behind you. You will not go forward timidly. You will go forward with fire, with clarity, with purpose, and with the unmistakable presence of God going before you. This victory isn't only for you, it's for those connected to you. Your obedience has created a ripple effect. Your consistency has opened the floodgates. There are people who will be blessed because you endured. There are lives that will change because you stayed faithful. What you carry is not just a testimony, it's a torch. And others will find their way through the light. God shines through you. Do not minimize your calling. Do not downplay your shift. The same God who raised kings out of shepherds and brought nations out of barren women is the same God who is now pointing to you and saying, rise. And when you rise, rise clean, rise focused, rise ready. Because the temptation in victory is to forget the pain of the journey, but never forget. Never forget the nights you cried out to God asking if He saw you. Never forget the moments when you almost gave up, but something in your soul whispered, hold on. That was God. He was there when no one else was. He was lifting you when no one else could. And now that He is shifting you, honor Him with every step. God does not bring you out of waiting so you can be admired. He brings you out so you can fulfill what He placed inside you. There is purpose attached to this shift. There are assignments connected to your elevation, so walk carefully, walk prayerfully, walk with the knowledge that every step forward is a step deeper into what God has called you to become. You are not being promoted to relax, you are being positioned to impact. The blessing comes with responsibility, and when you steward it well, more will be added. Because God does not waste oil. He only anoints those who are ready to pour. So lift your head, straighten your spine, fix your gaze. The waiting season is over. The fog is lifting. The ground is shifting. The heavens are open, and God is saying, now, not tomorrow, not next year, now. Walk like it, pray like it, speak like it, praise like it, because your life is about to look like what your faith has always believed. The long road is about to make sense. The tears are about to water the harvest. The delay is about to turn into destiny. And in that moment, when it comes, remember this truth. It was God. It was always God. Every open door, every cleared path, every divine connection, every sudden breakthrough, it was not man. It was not chance. It was God moving, God restoring, God fulfilling His word. So give Him the glory, not only with your lips, but with your life. Let your actions honor Him. Let your character reflect Him. Let your influence point back to Him. For when the story is told, let it not be said that you rose by talent, by ambition, or by favor from people, let it be said that you rose by the hand of God, and that you stayed there because you stayed on your knees, you stayed in His will, and you stayed hungry for more of Him. The waiting has come to an end. The doors are opening, the victory is unfolding, and the God who kept you hidden is now revealing what He's been forming all along. There comes a point in the life of every believer where God demands not just patience, but transformation in the waiting. You didn't just survive these past seasons, you were being refined in them. God was shaping you while others were watching you fall apart. They saw the outer shell, tired, weary, worn down, but they could not see what God was doing within. Inside, God was constructing strength. He was instilling vision. He was building a foundation that could not be shaken. You thought you were being buried, but God was planting you. And now, in His perfect time, He is bringing you out, not as you were, but as who He created you to be. This shift that God is unleashing is not casual, not accidental. It is surgical. It is deliberate. God is targeting the very areas in your life where you have experienced the deepest pain, and He is pouring oil on those wounds. The areas where you were the weakest will become the evidence of His greatest power. He is raising you up, not because you are worthy, but because you were willing. You didn't give up when it got hard. You didn't walk away when it didn't make sense. You kept your eyes on God. You kept seeking. And that faith, that quiet persistence, has reached heaven. The shift has begun. You see, God doesn't need to announce His plan to your critics. He doesn't need the approval of anyone to elevate you. When He decides it's time, He acts without permission. People may look at your past and say, you're not qualified, but God looks at your faith and says you're chosen. The same hands that molded the mountains are now lifting your name into spaces you never imagined. God is not promoting your image, He is releasing your calling. He is not increasing your visibility for attention, but to fulfill a divine assignment that has been written over your life since before you took your first breath. And in this moment of divine transition, the enemy will do all he can to distract you. He will whisper lies into your spirit. He will stir confusion. He will try to make you question what you know God spoke to you, but don't you listen. Don't you dare second guess what God has confirmed in your soul. The warfare is not a sign of abandonment. It is confirmation that the shift is real. The opposition proves the magnitude of what's coming. The darkness intensifies before the dawn, but God is still God in the dark. God is still moving in silence. God is still leading when the path feels hidden. Lift your faith to a higher place. Do not pray from a place of fear. Pray from a place of authority. Speak not as one uncertain, but as one aligned with the will of the Almighty. Declare His promises back to Him with boldness. Stand on His word like a rock under your feet. For when God shifts a person, He also sharpens their voice. He puts a roar in the mouth of those who once wept in silence. And that roar is not pride, it is conviction. That voice is not arrogance, it is revelation. Because when you've seen what God can do in the silence, you speak differently in the season of sudden victory. This next season is going to require you to think differently, pray differently, and walk differently. You cannot enter the next dimension with old fears. You cannot carry the weights of yesterday into the open doors of tomorrow. God is telling you to release the residue of delay, to cast off the garments of mourning, to shake off the dust of hesitation. You are not a prisoner anymore. You are not a victim anymore. You are not stuck, you are being summoned. God is calling you into movement, into impact, into purpose. And His voice is louder than every limitation that ever tried to hold you back. Don't look for validation, look for confirmation. God doesn't always validate your process to those around you, but He will confirm it in your spirit. He will send signs in the quiet places. He will cause your heart to burn with a knowing that cannot be shaken. Trust that. Trust what God has planted deep within you, that stirring, that inner push, that persistent vision. It is not your imagination. It is revelation. It is God whispering, prepare yourself. The shift is now. And when that victory comes, and it will come, it won't just change your situation. It will change the atmosphere around you. It will shift how people speak to you. It will change how the enemy sees you, because suddenly you will not be known as the one who waited, but as the one whom God remembered, the one God restored, the one God raised up in power, not by might, not by the hand of man, but by His decree. What others called impossible, God called inevitable. What others said would take years, God did in moments. That's how God works. He does not need time, He needs faith. And your faith has qualified you, your endurance has positioned you, your silence has built your strength. You may not feel worthy, but you are ready. Not perfect, but prepared. Not flawless, but faithful. And that is all God requires. For He does not call the equipped, He equips the called. He does not choose based on status, He chooses based on surrender. And I speak this into your spirit. The delay did not destroy you, it developed you. The detour did not defeat you, it trained you. You didn't miss your moment. It was being prepared for you all along. And now God is aligning everything, people, places, resources, timing, to meet the destiny He planted in you from the beginning. Not just a blessing, but a breakthrough. Not just progress, but transformation. Not just a shift, but a sudden and irreversible elevation. But don't get comfortable in the blessing. Stay close to God. Stay in His presence. The same God who brings the shift is the one who sustains it. You cannot afford to drift now. You cannot afford to forget who brought you here. Stay humble, stay hungry. Let your success never speak louder than your devotion. Let your gratitude be louder than your gain. Because true victory is not found in what you receive, it's in what you become. And you are becoming someone who reflects the light of God. Someone who carries peace that surpasses understanding. Someone who walks in strength but bows in reverence. Someone who rises, not to dominate, but to serve. That is what happens when God shifts a person. Not just their life changes, but their nature is transformed. You will not just be blessed, you will be a blessing. There are moments ordained by God that interrupt the rhythm of delay and usher in a wave of unstoppable purpose. These moments are not marked by earthly clocks, but by divine decree. They are not announced by the voices of men, but by the whisper of eternity into your soul. And one of those moments is upon you now. You are not stepping into something random. You are walking into something sacred. God has not just allowed you to endure, He has called you to emerge. Emerge with clarity. Emerge with strength. Emerge with the authority that only comes from having walked through the fire with your faith still intact. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Many assume that because they are not moving visibly, God is not working actively, but God often works most powerfully in silence. He is not interested in shallow progress. He is invested in deep transformation. And that's exactly what this waiting season has done. It has stripped you of dependence on the approval of man. It has weaned your soul off distractions. It has taught you to hear God's voice in the storm and to stand still when others ran. That kind of faith cannot be taught. It is forged. And now God is ready to reveal what He has hidden for so long. You've been hidden not because you were unworthy, but because you were not yet finished. God was shaping you in obscurity so that when the light hits you, you would not crumble under its weight. People see the glory, but they don't know the story. They see the fruit, but they didn't witness the pruning. But God saw it all. Every sacrifice you made in silence, every time you said no to compromise, every moment you lifted your hands and said, God, I trust you, even here. That trust has built something unshakable inside you. And now the shift has come. The waiting is being exchanged for walking. The silence is being traded for strategy. God is opening the way that no man could ever shut. You must now walk with a new level of awareness. The shift that God is releasing requires sensitivity. You cannot afford to be distracted. You cannot afford to entertain confusion. You must walk with your ears tuned to heaven. Every step must be guided not by ambition, not by emotion, but by divine instruction. The world will offer shortcuts, platforms, praise, but you are not called to follow noise. You are called to follow the presence of God, and His presence doesn't always lead where the crowd is. Sometimes it leads you into quiet places, unfamiliar paths, dry valleys, but it always ends in victory. Your steps must be governed by surrender. Not every open door is God's door. Not every opportunity is divine. Discernment is your protection in this season. Just because the victory is coming suddenly doesn't mean you abandon caution. The same God who is releasing favor is also calling you to walk carefully, humbly, and prayerfully. Because with greater influence comes greater temptation. With greater visibility comes greater warfare. But God has not brought you this far to let you fall now. He will shield you, strengthen you, and guide you as long as you stay submitted. This is a season where God is redeeming time. Years that felt wasted are being restored in moments. Opportunities you thought you missed are returning multiplied. God is not bound by the rules of this world. He can reverse what looks irreversible. He can build on ruins. He can bring water from a rock. He can make the barren land overflow with abundance. What looked like an ending was really a beginning in disguise. What felt like a breakdown was a setup for breakthrough. And now you will see how the pieces fit. You will see how the losses made room for something greater. You will see why God said, wait. Don't let bitterness take root in this transition. You cannot carry anger, resentment, or unforgiveness into your next level. That is spiritual poison. You must release it completely, not for them, but for you. Because what God has prepared is too holy to be contaminated by old pain. The shift you are stepping into requires clean hands and a pure heart. Let go of what they did. Let go of who left. Let go of what didn't happen. God is doing something new. He is writing a new chapter. And it won't read like the last one. He is lifting you, not because you deserve it, but because He is faithful. And in His faithfulness, He does not just give you what you expect, He gives you what is best. You are about to walk in places your name was never supposed to reach. People who dismissed you will have to watch as God elevates you. But your goal is not to prove them wrong. It is to prove God right. Your rise is not about revenge. It is about purpose. Let your posture remain one of gratitude. Let your heart stay bowed before the throne of the one who opened every door. Because when people see you now, they must see not just success, but the hand of God. Let your life be living proof that waiting on God is never wasted, that those who trust Him will never be disappointed, that His timing is always, always perfect. God is sending a wind, fresh, fierce, and holy. It is the kind of wind that breaks down walls and lifts the weary, the kind of wind that signals movement in the realm of the Spirit. That wind is headed your way, and when it comes, things will move that haven't moved in years. Hearts will shift, closed doors will open, delayed dreams will awaken. The very atmosphere will respond to the command of God. And in that moment, you must not hesitate, you must not doubt. You must walk through that door as if it was made just for you, because it was. This is not the time to play small. This is not the time to question your worth. God has already chosen you. He has already called you. He has already set your feet on a path that leads to greatness, not for the applause of man, but for the fulfillment of divine assignment. You are not just called to succeed, you are called to lead. And true leadership begins in the secret place, in the place of prayer, in the place where no one sees but God. That is where the shift began, and that is where the victory will be sustained. So hold your head high, stand firm, speak life, walk boldly. The God who started this journey with you is not finished. He is still writing, still shaping, still unfolding the masterpiece of your life. And the part you are about to walk into, this new season, this sudden victory, is not the end, it's the beginning of a legacy, a testimony, a divine manifestation of what God can do when someone refuses to give up, refuses to bow to fear, and chooses to believe. Even in the darkest night, this is your moment. Not because of luck, not because of coincidence, but because of God. He is the reason. He is the source, He is the author, He is the finisher, and what He has begun in your life, He will finish with glory. So now, stand still and recognize this truth. God has not forgotten you. Every silent season, every tear cried in secret, every prayer uttered when no one else was watching, God heard it all. And now He is answering, not with a whisper, but with a divine shift that will speak louder than any delay ever did. The waiting was not your defeat, it was your preparation. And this sudden victory is not random, it is your reward for trusting when it was hardest to trust, for believing when nothing made sense, and for staying faithful when walking away seemed easier. This is the hour where God turns mourning into movement, where delay gives way to divine acceleration. You're not being lifted for status or show. You're being lifted to shine His light in places that have long been dark. And when people see the change, when they witness the rise, let your life shout one name only, God. Let your victory be a declaration, not of what you've done, but of who God has always been. Walk forward now, not with fear, not with pride, but with fierce humility and unwavering confidence in the one who is shifting your life.